Nope.
Hello, dear listener, and thank you for joining me in this video. I felt like this one needed a bit of an explanation before diving in. In continuing with the cross-promotion for Divinity Activewear, it only felt right that the first of the three ancient civilizations we highlight would be the Assyrians, which were the first set of designs released for Divinity, which featured the god Ashur and goddess Ishtar. But when doing research, I found that the history and lore of Assyria were often intertwined and muddled with other civilizations that resided in and around ancient Mesopotamia. And since this history is thousands upon thousands of years old, it's pretty difficult to confirm which legends originated with which people. Due to this, I decided this video will be highlighting Mesopotamia as a whole, as opposed to just Assyria. That also means there are going to be a lot of names of historical deities, cities, heroes, characters, and the like that will be thrown around. I think I did my best to make everything make sense, but if not, feel free to make jokes at my expense in the comments below. Now that you've been warned, sit back, get your history pants on, and enjoy 10 demons from ancient Mesopotamia. Number 1. Anzu. In Sumerian and Akkadian mythology, Anzu is a divine storm bird and the personification of the southern wind and thunderclouds. This demon, half man, half bird, stole the, quote, tablet of the destinies from Enlil, the extremely powerful god of air, and hid them on the mountaintop. Anu, the sky god, ordered the other gods to retrieve the tablet, even though they all feared the demon. According to one text, the bird was killed by Marduk, the patron god of Babylon. In another, it was killed with the arrows of the god Ninurta, a powerful warrior god of Assyria. Number 2. Basmu. Basmu, or Bashmu, was an ancient Mesopotamian mythological creature, depicted as a horned snake with 2 forelegs and wings. It was also the Akkadian name of the Babylonian constellation equivalent to the Greek Hydra. In the Angim, a tale known as Ninurta's Return to Nippur, it was identified as one of the 11 warriors defeated by Ninurta. Basmu was created in the sea and was, quote, 60 double miles long, according to an Assyrian myth, which recounts that it devoured fish, birds, wild donkeys, and even men. These heinous actions secured the disapproval of the gods, who sent Nergal, a divine spirit and gifted snake charmer, to vanquish it. It was one of the 11 monsters created by Tiamat, a female entity that was viewed as the symbol of chaotic, primordial creation. Number 3. The Adimu. The Adimu were a type of demon in the Sumerian religion. They were envisioned as ghosts of those who were not buried properly after their death. They were considered vengeful toward the living, and were known to possess people if they did not respect certain taboos, such as prohibition against eating ox meat. They were thought to cause disease and inspire criminal behavior in the living, but could sometimes be appeased by funeral banquets or libations. The Adimu were also thought to be wind spirits that sucked the life out of the susceptible and the sleeping, most commonly the young. Number 4. Galu. Galu demons hauled unfortunate victims off to the underworld. They were one of 7 devils, or, quote, the offspring of hell, in Babylonian theology, that could be appeased by the sacrifice of lamb at the altars. The goddess Inanna, the counterpart to Ishtar in ancient Assyria and Aphrodite in ancient Greece, was pursued by Galu demons after being escorted from the underworld by Galatura and Kuryaya, which I assume are two divine warriors, but I cannot confirm that with any research. An especially fierce Galu demon was the monstrous Asag, who was slain by Nunorta, using an enchanted mace called Sharur. Number 5. Humbaba. Humbaba, surnamed the Terrible, was a monstrous giant of immemorial age, raised by Ashur, a god of the sun. Humbaba was the guardian of the cedar forest, where the gods lived, by the will of the god Enlil, who, quote, assigned Humbaba as a terror to the human beings. Humbaba is believed to have the face of a lion, and it is written, when he looks at someone, it is the look of death. His roar is a flood, his mouth is death, and his breath is fire. He can hear 100 leagues away any rustling in his forest. Who would dare go down into his forest? Another description from George Berkletard's transition of the Epic of Gilgamesh says, he had the paws of a lion and a body covered in thorny scales. His feet had the claws of a vulture, and on his head were the horns of a wild bull. His tail and phallus each ended in a snake's head. Humbaba is mentioned in tablet number 2 of the Epic of Gilgamesh. After Gilgamesh and Enkidu become friends following their initial fight, they set out on an adventure to the cedar forest beyond the 7th mountain range to slay Humbaba. Enkidu, Gilgamesh vows, since a man cannot pass beyond the final end of life, I want to set off into the mountains to establish my renown there. Gilgamesh tricks the monster into giving away his 7, quote, radiances by offering his sisters as wives and concubines. When Humbaba has his guard down, Gilgamesh punches him and captures the monster. Defeated, Humbaba appeals to a receptive Gilgamesh for mercy, but Enkidu convinces Gilgamesh to slay Humbaba. In the last effort, Humbaba tries to escape but is decapitated by Enkidu, or in some versions by both heroes together. His head is put in a leather sack, which is brought to Enlil, the god who set Humbaba as the forest guardian. The iconography of the severed head of Humbaba, with staring eyes, flowing beard, and wild hair, is well documented from the first Babylonian dynasty, continuing into Neo-Assyrian art. A parallel of the severed head of the monstrous Humbaba is also found in the Greek myth of Perseus, in which Perseus placed the head of Medusa in a leather sack. Number 6. Galu. Galu was one of the 3 horned snakes in Akkadian mythology, along with the Basmu and Masmahu. This demon is usually described as a hybrid between a lion and a dragon. Tiamat is said to have, quote, clothed the raging lion dragons with fearsomeness. In the Epic of Creation, Unama Ilish, the god Nabu was described as, quote, he who tramples the lion dragon in the hymn of Nabu. The late Neo-Assyrian text, Myth of the 7 Sages, recalls the 4th of the 7 sages is Lunana, who drove Galu dragon from the temple of Ishtar. Number 7. Nisrak. Nisrak was, according to the Hebrew Bible, an Assyrian god in whose temple King Sennacherib was worshipping when he was assassinated by his sons Adramelech and Sharezer. The name is unknown in Mesopotamian sources, but has been tentatively identified as the god of agriculture. In the Old Testament, in both 2 Kings 19:37 and Isaiah 37:38, King Sennacherib of Assyria is reported to have been murdered by his sons in the temple of Nisroch, which is most likely a scribal error for the god Nimrod. Due to the obvious visual similarities of the letters involved, and the fact that no Assyrian deity by the name Nisroch has ever been attested, most scholars consider this error to be the most likely explanation for the name. If Nisroch is Ninorta, this would make Ninorta's temple at Kalhu the most likely location of the king's murder. Other scholars have attempted to identify Nisroch as Nusku, the Assyrian god of fire. In the 16th century, Nisroch became seen as a demon. The Dutch demonologist Johann Weyer listed Nisroch in his book titled, bear with me here, Pseudo-Monarchia Daemonum, published in 1577, as the chief cook of hell. Nisroch appears in Book 6 of John Milton's epic poem Paradise Lost as one of Satan's demons. Number 8. Rabisu. In Akkadian mythology, the Rabisu, also sometimes referred to as the Vagabond, or possibly Rabasa, are evil vampiric spirits or demons. They are believed to menace the entrance to people's houses by hiding in dark corners, lurking, and waiting to attack people. It is said that pure sea salt can ban them, as the salt represents incorruptible life. It is also believed that in hell they live in the desert of anguish, attacking newly arrived souls as they travel down the road of bone to the city of the dead. The book, The Religion of Babylon and Assyria, by Theophilus G. Pinches, describes the Ebisu as being, quote, the Caesar, which is regarded as a spirit which lay in wait to pounce upon his prey. Chapter 4 of the book of Genesis, lines 6 and 7, reads, So the Lord said to Cain, Why are you so resentful and crestfallen? If you do well, you can hold up your head. But if not, sin is a demon lurking at the door. His urge is towards you, yet you can be his master. Or, in Genesis 4:7, If thou dost not well, sin lieth at the door. The New American Bible, among others, believe that the demon lurking, which in Hebrew means the croucher, is similar to the word Rabisu. Therefore, it is possible that this displays a continued tradition in the emerging culture of the Hebrews. Number 9. Lamashtu. In Mesopotamian mythology, Lamashtu was a female demon, monster, malevolent goddess, or demigoddess who menaced women during childbirth and, if possible, kidnapped their children while they were breastfeeding. She would gnaw on their bones and suck out their blood, as well as being charged with a number of other evil deeds. She was the daughter of the sky god Anu. Lamashtu is depicted as a mythological hybrid with a hairy body, a lioness's head, with donkey teeth and ears, long fingers and fingernails, and the feet of a bird with sharp talons. She is often shown standing or kneeling on a donkey, nursing a pig and a dog while holding snakes. She thus bears some functions and resemblance to the Mesopotamian demon Lilith. Quick side note, if anyone remembers an older video of mine where I discussed several Assyrian superstitions, You may recall one in particular that relates to Lamashtu. For those who are not familiar, here is a brief breakdown of that portion of the video. Basically, when I was first born, my mother, who was a new mother at the time, was told by a friend that she should not sleep on her back for the first 40 days of my life. According to this friend, doing so would entice and invite the spirit of a deranged and or demon-possessed woman to break into our home at night, choke my mother to death, and eventually steal me away. My mother tells me she had nightmares of this woman after hearing about her. I used to think this was just the insane rantings of the friend, but after learning about Lamashtu, I can't help but wonder if the two urban legends are related in any way. The following is an ancient incantation to ward away Lamashtu. Great is the daughter of heaven who tortures babies. Her hand is a net. Her embrace is death. She is cruel, raging, angry, predatory. A runner, a thief is the daughter of heaven. She touches the bellies of women in labor. She pulls out the pregnant woman's baby. The daughter of heaven is one of the gods, her brothers, with no child of her own. Her head is a lion's head. Her body is a donkey's body. She roars like a lion. She constantly howls like a demon dog. Another quick side note, the name Lamashtu is extremely similar to the name of another Assyrian entity known as Lamassu. The Lamassu, more commonly referred to as the winged bull, is embraced as a holy protector of ancient Assyrian cities and has no direct correlation to Lamashtu. I just wanted to include that small caveat in case anyone might mix the two up. And number 10. Pazuzu. Pazuzu is the demon of the southwest wind, known for bringing famine during dry seasons and locusts during rainy seasons. Pazuzu was invoked using evil amulets to combat the powers of his rival, the malicious goddess Lamashtu. Although Pazuzu is himself considered to be an evil spirit, he drives and frightens away other evil spirits, therefore protecting humans against plagues and misfortunes. Pazuzu is often depicted as a combination of diverse animals and human parts. He has the body of a man, the head of a lion or dog, talons of an eagle, 2 pairs of wings, and a scorpion's tail. Here's a bit of trivia for all you lovely horror fans. In the 1971 novel, The Exorcist, and the film based on the novel, Pazuzu is supposedly the evil spirit that possesses the young girl Regan McNeil. He reappears in the 1977 sequel, Exorcist II: The Heretic. In this film, Pazuzu is both named as the demon antagonist of Regan and the unwitting helper of Father Philip Lamont, as he seeks to free Regan from the demon's grip. Thank you for listening, and I hope you enjoyed this week's video. If you did, declare war on that thumbs up button and let me know in the comments below. Sorry again if this one was confusing or overwhelming in any way. I even think it was, and I'm somewhat familiar with the lore, but hopefully you learned something new. Just a reminder that all month long, you can save 15% off your entire order from Divinity Activewear using promo code NOPE at checkout. I'll leave a link down below. Until next time, everybody, remember to stay safe out there. I'll be seeing you in the next video.